Recent reports have indicated that the New York Knicks are targeting Dejounte Murray, and we have to talk about it. So what's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and we are going to jump right into the video as we always do. Because as you may have heard, recent reports have shown that the Knicks are among several teams who've expressed interest in exploratory trade talks with Dejounte Murray, guard for the Atlanta Hawks, former one-time All-Star, according to Michael A. Scotto. And the Knicks also remain interested in trading for Raptors forward OG Anunoby. First things first, we've talked about Anunoby probably more than anyone on this channel outside of Donovan Mitchell or Joel Embiid for the entire month of just September. So we're not really going to talk much into OG outside of I still believe that there is no chance the Knicks and the Raptors make a trade because of the lawsuit, and they're in the same division, so I just think it's highly unlikely. So let's talk about Dejounte Murray, because we've never done that. So, Dejounte Murray right now is playing shooting guard for the Atlanta Hawks next to Trae Young. The Hawks gave up 3 first-round draft picks, some other draft capital, some players, to bring in Dejounte Murray to sort of cover for Trae Young's lack of defense and also add another elite playmaker to the team. However, it's been problematic. Clearly, Dejounte Murray is not a shooting guard. He is a point guard. He needs to be on a team where he has the ball in his hands. And Trae Young is better with the ball in his hands than Dejounte Murray is, so it's kind of not the best fit. We've seen this fit fail in Atlanta. The Hawks are not very good this season, and that's sort of leading us to a point where they're probably going to move Murray, and they're probably going to ask for a decent haul back so they could use whatever assets they get to trade for another star, especially with Capella being on the block. It's very interesting to see what the Hawks do, but it seems like they're insistent on still building around Trae. However, not with this current team. If we look here, again, some more reports. Knicks are among several teams with interest in Dejounte. They remain interested in OG Anunoby. And also, it seems like the Knicks would consider moving Emmanuel quickly in a trade. I said pretty recently that I believe that if the Knicks were to trade for OG Anunoby, it would not be for RJ Barrett like Bill Simmons said, but it would be for Emmanuel Quickly. The reason for that is because the Raptors do not have a point guard on roster. Emmanuel Quickly would instantly be the best point guard on the Toronto Raptors. And you could kind of just do Quickly and Fournier in like a highly protected first and land OG if you so desire. However, as I said before, not happening. The lawsuit, the rivalry. Masai Ujiri hates the Knicks. None of that's going to happen. And then it leads to Dejounte Murray. And are the Knicks really going to trade Emmanuel Quickly for Dejounte Murray? I don't think so. It doesn't seem likely, given the Knicks have made trades with the Hawks in the past. So that rivalry doesn't really matter. The Knicks and the Hawks have been willing trade partners, as we saw when the Knicks gave Kevin Knox and a first for Cam Reddish. That did not work out, but it did bring the Knicks Josh Hart, who was excellent for them last season. Slower start to the year this year, but it's obviously a little different of a role. He's playing more power forward. That's a little different for him. He's never done that before. However, I digress. That is not exactly what this video is about. But let's just look at this proposed trade from Let's Talk Knicks, one of my favorite Knicks accounts on Twitter. And it said, who would you do this, or would you do this trade? The Knicks received Dejounte Murray, and the Hawks received Quentin Grimes, Evan Fournier, the Knicks 2024 first-round pick unprotected, the 2024 first-rounder from Detroit with all those protections that just keep deferring, and a lottery-protected New York Knicks 2025 first-round pick. Basically, it's asking if you would do that. As the last time I checked, I probably should have just voted to show you guys what people think. More people are saying no than are saying yes, and I agree with that. Here's the deal with Dejounte Murray. Is he a good player? Yes. He's a very good player. One of the best on-ball defenders in the NBA. One of the best playmakers in the league. However, that's not really being seen as much because he's teammates with Trae Young. He's also shooting 37% from 3 this year, which is a good sign, and the best he's ever shot since his rookie season when he shot 39.1%. And it's one of those things where if the Knicks trade for Dejounte Murray and put him at shooting guard, you're going to have the same problem the Hawks had. Because Jalen Brunson deserves the ball more than Dejounte Murray does, and you'd just be taking the ball out of Jalen Brunson's hands. When the Hawks made that trade, it was very clear that it was either going to work out very well or it was not going to work at all. It has not worked at all. Clearly, Murray needs to be a point guard, and he would not be a point guard on the Knicks. And sure, there are benefits. For instance, he would probably help with the Knicks defense. It's been struggling. This is being filmed after the Bucks game, and they lost badly because the Bucks just shot the lights out on them. They shot 50% from 3. Once again, the Knicks cannot guard the perimeter. It's not even that. It's that they don't guard threes. So even if you get Dejounte Murray, is it really going to change the system? I really just don't think so. And then you got a guy playing off the ball in Dejounte who more than anything is a playmaker on offense and is really more than anything just a defender in general. So I just don't understand giving up assets for him. Part of me likes it better than the idea of Donovan Mitchell because the fit does feel a little more fluid with Brunson. But it feels too similar to Trae Young and Dejounte, where it's like, all right, both guys want the ball. I know Brunson can play off the ball, but he's better when he plays with the ball in his hands. That's what we've learned. So I don't see why we would make a trade. Once again, like Donovan Mitchell, I don't see why the Knicks would trade for a guard. They already have a major influx of guards as it is. If they were to trade for someone, it should be a forward or a center. It should not be a guard. The Knicks are good at point guard. They have a great backup point guard, probably the best backup point guard in the NBA. There's really no reason to add another guy who is primarily a point guard. It just does not make much sense to me, and I am very, very much against the Knicks doing this. However, we'll take a look at his stats for this year. This year, he's averaging 20 points, 4.5 rebounds, and 5.5 assists. He's shooting 45% from the field, 37% from deep, and 83% from the free throw line, with a PER of 17, which is around his career average for his PER. And also, just to add a little more context, here's Dejounte Murray's career stats. As I said, his career high in three-point percentage is his rookie year, where he only played 8.5 minutes per game and only took 0.6 threes per game. So it counts, but it doesn't really count when you're looking at this year. He's shooting up to 6.1 threes per game. And 37% is really not that bad at all from deep, especially for a guy that's going to play elite defense. The stats look nice when you see them, but it's not as good as they were in his final year on the San Antonio Spurs when he averaged 21 points, 9 assists, 8 rebounds, and 2 steals per game and saw his first All-Star appearance. The reason for that is because he had the ball in his hands. Then he went to the Hawks, where they're not letting him have the ball in his hands as much because Trae Young's a better player than he is, and Trae Young is better on offense and a playmaker, and just gives all the reasons in the world for Dejounte Murray to be the secondary ball handler on that team. However, Dejounte Murray does not work as a secondary ball handler. And on the Knicks, where they also have Julius Randle, who loves to have the ball a lot, I don't really see why bringing in Dejounte Murray is going to help the Knicks very much. It feels like it's just going to give the Knicks another good defending guard who's not really going to get a ton of shots, who's not really going to touch the ball that much, and then is probably going to get decently upset about it. And sure, I'm kind of describing Quentin Grimes right now, who Murray is much better than, but I just don't see the fit at all. I only see the fit in a world where, he can cover for Jalen Brunson on defense, which is the whole reason the Hawks got him, and that didn't work. So I don't see the point in trying to do this again, especially when the Knicks are not going to guard threes anyway. Don't trade for perimeter defenders at this point. You have enough as it is that if you want to start guarding threes, if you want to change up the system, you very much can. So hold on to those assets, trade for someone else, preferably a forward or a center, small forward or center, that is. Julius is good at the 4. And that's really all there is to it, guys. So thank you so much for tuning in. If I seem a little tired, this is the last video I'm filming before I go on a little holiday break for a few days. I don't know when it's coming out. It might be the first video you guys see of me in a little bit, but whatever. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Have a happy holidays. Merry Knicksmas. And I will see you guys later. Go Knicks.